to enjoy something, but so many people I want to thank. I just think our marketing people were brilliant, our AD, our president, everybody did their job, and our fans and former players. That's why I never wanted to leave this place. And I know every place has good things and bad things. We've had our share of bad things. But I just love the direction we're headed. And I'm glad I stuck around to hopefully be part of this resurgence. And not for athletics or the program. I'm just talking about for all of us. So the game was, I thought we played awfully well first half. We really did. Shot it better. We didn't turn the ball over. 2 turnovers. They had a bunch of them. The second half, we started out good and get that 25-point lead, and then we were poor, and they were good. Give them credit. They were good, but we turned the ball over like I haven't seen it. I mean, we're spin dribbling. We did some crazy things, and so I think it'll be a good teaching point in the film session that you can't have those leads you get in a tournament when it's one and done, and those things cost you. So hopefully we'll learn from it. But the play that we got out of a lot of guys, Jeremy was really good early. Jace was really good all the time. Our big struggled a little bit, I thought, and Golden is a hell of a player. Give him credit. But that second half, then Trey came in and really played well. It was unfortunate that it ended in a little bit of a negative, a stained way. But, we all know that rivalries are rivalries, and, all the way back to the things that happened on our court, and things happen both ways, and both are guilty. But there's a tradition here that is so very important, and it was really weird. I think it was God's way of saying, appreciate what you got, because I got up early in the morning the other day, and I turned on the TV, and the Kissing the Floor was on, and I never saw the whole thing that the Big Ten Network did. And as I watched it, I just said to myself, my God, where is this place? This is unbelievable. And the job they did on it was phenomenal. I came in the next day, I told my guys I want to send to each player, because this is why you should want to be at Michigan State. And if you don't want to be, that's okay. Your loss. Pig Miller comes back from Dallas. Smitty comes in all the time, and we had a lot more people here. Some of them left because now they got kids that are playing in events, and they had to go to those events. But that tradition of the kissing of the Spartan head, Sean started it, and then Mateen took it over. And when you see a tradition that now our hockey team does, and our women's team, and our softball team, and our soccer team, and our baseball team, and that's who we are. And I'm damn proud of that. And so if it happened like I heard, I'm still not going to let Trey get away with it, but I'm not going to be quite as mad at him as I would have been. But at the same time, we have to make sure we handle ourselves right, or we're no better than anyone else. So it wasn't the end of the world. Maybe they did what they wanted to do if it was right, and we did what we needed to do. And that's what rivalries are all about. If everybody's out there hugging and kissing, it's probably not a rivalry. So, they shouldn't get mad if we're kissing our own ass if we were doing something down there. I don't get mad when they call me an angry midget. It don't bother me. I just accept that. And so, I think Dusty handled it well. He's got a really good team, and he's done an unbelievable job for a first-year coach in the Big Ten. Golden has gotten so much better in a year, I think, from the beginning of the year till the end. And They have trouble shooting the ball at times. They turn it over a little bit. I mean, we've been in the same place, but that's a damn good team that I think can make some noise in the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament. So, special day, and I'll take any question you got. There are not many days like that. And Rhonda, the spraying of the green and confetti was pretty cool. That was a new touch. The towels were unbelievable. Just because it gives people something to take away. And 20 years from now, 30, 40, hopefully they'll remember that game. That's the way I told the players in the locker room before the game, and that's what these games should be all about. So, questions?
Tom, I was wondering, after the game, Alan said he thought this was about as good a coaching job you've done in your career. You entered the season unranked. You got this depth without really that star power. To close it with 7 straight wins, knocking off these ranked teams, close it at home against Michigan. How special is this in your career?
Well, it's special in my career because, maybe we weren't picked as high, 5th or 6th, whatever we were picked. But I said then, and I still say now, I don't know if anybody knew what anybody was going to have. That was the hard part about it. But we had some guys that really came on. We had a collection of people that worked together. We didn't know where Jeremy would be with his injury. Jace has just skyrocketed up and deserves what he's gotten. And Trey, Trey was a big difference in the game, the second half of the game, and then there's Jaden, who's the mainstay, and listen, it's been a tough year when you're not making shots and you're a shooter. But I've told all of you for the last 3 weeks, if we start shooting the ball well, we could be a really, really, really good team because we do the other things really well at a high level. And I think we've made 9 threes in the last 3 games. And hopefully that gets us going a little bit. I think we still got a ceiling to get to. I still think we can do a better job on our offense. And our transition defense was a little, give them credit, but it was a little slack today. So still got something to work on tomorrow and the next day.
Tom, you mentioned the incident there. I kind of want to go back 30-plus years ago to the incident where Michigan players, I believe Jalen Rose has admitted that they wiped their posteriors on the logo.
What a polite way to say that.
Thank you. Been working on that one for a while. Do you remember that moment, and where does Trey Holloman rank in terms of Michigan State players in that respect, like what Sean did, what Mateen did, as you said, continuing tradition, and what Trey did today?
Well, I will answer your question, and the reason I brought it up is so that I wouldn't have to answer questions, because I sure don't want that to dampen. There was no big brawl. There was no big thing. We all know. I talked to Jalen about it. They made no bones about it. They did specials where they laughed about it. And I understand. I do understand it. But certain things, certain things I think are off limits, Can't talk bad about my mother. And you can't talk bad about the court that I practice on every day. Other than that, I'm a big boy, and I'm sure we do things too. So don't act like it was them. But I hope, and this is how crazy the world is right now, that Trey Holloman becomes a household name because of his basketball play. He's a light heavyweight, so I don't think he'd last long in a ring with anybody. But that's not what I want the day about, because both teams played hard. We played, I think, hard as hell. I thought the second half they played a lot harder. I really did. So, where does it rank? The 3 threes he hit and a couple of shots he hit when we were struggling ranks higher than getting mad at somebody doing that. But you got to realize that rivalries, that's what they're about. It's the Hatfields and the McCoys. I told John Beeline that a long time ago, and took him a couple of years, but then he understood it, and somebody told me that. But for the most part, there's a difference between a respected rivalry and not, and this is a respected rivalry.
Tom, over the last few days, it seems like it's been all business with you, with your players. This is the last official game of the regular season. Is there a switch that flips now, or are things the same, or are things a little different as you get ready to go into tournament-style play?
There should be a switch that changes because now we enter one and done time, which means you're not allowed a mistake. And that's what I told them late in the timeouts when we were going to win the game with a couple minutes left. I just said, sometime this is going to happen and you're going home if you don't do your job. So tried to use that as a teaching, learning moment. But for the most part, we've been really good down the stretch. And today we weren't as good in the second half, and we turned it over too much. So it'll give us a chance to refocus. Is it because we weren't focused? Is it because we got a little fat and sassy? Is it because whatever? And the good part about my team this year, I'm going to ask them. I'm going to probably call someone tonight and ask them, okay, so what happened? Tell me what happened. Tell me why we lost. I know Jaden. Jaden was so excited about today, and when he was spin dribbling, the ball was going everywhere. I understood it. I just couldn't let it go on, and that's hard sometimes because I don't blame him. He's been through 4 years of me, so probably gets sick of that every now and then himself. But I didn't look at this game as this is the end all be all. We already won the league. Beating your rival is important. Keeping your string of winning is important, but playing better is the most important. You want to play better at this time of year. And I thought we really did for probably 30 of the 40 minutes, but that stretch that we didn't, we were not very good.
So there's a picture of Jaden that circulates social media a lot of him as a grade schooler, the quote, "I want to
Yeah.
grow up and be a Michigan State basketball player." What does it mean to you at the end of 4 years? He comes out 1,000-point player and a Big Ten champion.
Yeah, to quote my rival, to quote a famous coach, one of my favorite coaches, Bo Schembechler, those who stay will be champions. First thing his dad said to me when he walked out on the court, those who stay will be champions. And if you believe that, that's what I live on. So Jaden, even though he probably doesn't feel that way now, and he probably won't feel that way till the season's over, but he is one of my favorites because this day and age, everybody can leave. And he hung in there, he fought through it, and he's going to have one ring on his hand for sure. And we'll see what happens from there on out. But I was happy for Jaden, I really was.
Coach, I just want to ask you a quick question about Dusty May. You praised him earlier. Michigan's kind of going through a skid right now. They've lost 3 in a row. You've obviously had teams that have gone through struggles late in seasons, then have managed to, take everybody by surprise and make a little bit of a run going into tournament time. Do you have any advice for Michigan at this time? I understand rivalry, all that.
No,
Do you
it's
have
not about rivalry. He's already taken his team to a Final Four. He knows what he's doing. But I would say this, in this league, this is one of the problems right now is there's so many good teams and you get on the wrong side of the schedule. Like I thought we were, They won a lot of close games in that stretch, I don't know. I haven't talked to them about it, but sometimes when you do that, you think that's going to continue. And then when it goes the other way, we had won a lot of games by a decent amount. And now we've hit kind of a different level ourselves, but you don't know if the depth, if they're wearing down a little bit. They've had a couple of injuries, as you know, but he knows his team better than I know his team, and he's not a rookie coach. He's just a rookie Big Ten coach. There's a big difference, and I think honestly, and I told him this, I think he's done a phenomenal job, and not easy to do what he's done, but taking that kid Golden with him, that was a smart move too. Guy's pretty good.
Tom, you referred to tradition and doing it your way, and this is protecting and preserving traditions, not just about the last incident, but in general. Is that as important as winning a Big Ten title for you, the way you did it, the way you guys have done it, the whole strength in numbers and everything else, the way it's unfolded?
Well, I think the tradition is important to me, of course. I mean, I still think there's pro teams that have tradition and have rivalries, you know, whether it's the Celtics and the Lakers. I mean, you talk to Irvin, he's still, the little hair he has up there, it still stands straight up when you talk about the Celtics, you know. My good friend Jerry Rosberg's here, you know, it was the Ravens and the Steelers, you know, and there's just, rivalries are good, man. I'm worried rivalries are going to go away. That'll be sad. If there's no rivalries, I mean, coaches can still have some fun. I don't know what the hell fans are going to do. I mean, if you can't sit around the water cooler and complain about the maize and blue or the green and white, I mean, if you guys on talk radio, what the hell are you going to do? You have nothing to talk about. It's going to be no fun. You got to lose your jobs, for God's sake. So I think rivalries, Bob, are still extremely important. I still think playing for your university and playing for the players that played before you and playing for your teammates. You know, I'm worried that everything's going to get siloed. You know what you're playing for? Me. And if that comes that way, you know, that'll be sad. Because these kids learned something today, and having those other players there that I talk about nonstop. And I just told Jace Richardson the other day, I said, Daddy's not the only one that has a ring in that house anymore, you know, he really isn't. And Daddy let me know too that, but he doesn't have that other ring yet, so he's still got something over him. But I mean, those are cool things that I think matter. I hope they matter. Yeah, I mean, for me, it matters a lot. And rivalries are not hated all the time. I mean, you know, Dusty and I are just starting this rivalry. John Beeline and I had I thought, incredible rivalry, you know. And
Beyond the rivalry, does it matter a lot to you how you guys did this?
you know, people are going to say, you know, I said strength in numbers because it has been strength in numbers. We had to do something different than most, but I didn't do it my way. I mean, my way, we all know I've had more talent and haven't played as many at times, although we've always played quite a few. But, you know, I hope nobody leaves here saying he did it my way, like Frank Sinatra. I hope they say he did it the way championships are won and championships are done. For the most part, you gather a group of people that have a common goal and a common bond, and you find a way to play together. And I mean, that's not so odd. And then you realize too that probably over the years in football or basketball, defense wins championships, turnovers win championships. I don't think things have changed as much as we think they have, to be very honest with you.
Tom, when you get seniors being introduced on the floor, where's your mind at that moment?
Where in the hell did 4 years go? Did I just get 4 years older? What goes through my mind is, man, they had to put up with me. Every once in a while I say, but I had to put up with them too now. But thankful, goes through my mind, appreciative. Draymond said something to me at 3 o'clock in the morning last night. After watching that show, I called him. And as we all know, he lost here on senior night. And he talked about some of the things that mattered that helped him later in life. And it was just awesome. I mean, I could have stayed on the phone for 10 hours. And, you know, talked to Mateen late, talked to Matt late. It's Steve Smith late. That's what makes this job for me. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, if you don't have the relationships, if it turns into a transformational, guys are going to miss out. You ain't going to have this. You know, I mean, I couldn't believe. I bet you 95% of the people stayed. I mean, when you look up in the upper balcony, which I did, I got caught going like this. I was kind of looking up at my dad, George Perlis. I was going to ask him if I could have more than 24 hours. and Judd to figure out how mad he was that we turned the ball over 11 times and a half. And then I focused in on the top of the arena. And I just caught myself going around and saying, wow, I'm at a special place. I'm the lucky one. These people embraced us. They stuck with us. And, you know, it's not quite as good when the years aren't quite as good, but it's never been bad. You know, somebody asked me, do you always have senior day after the game? I said I didn't my first couple years, but then I changed to it because I felt players deserved more recognition. I felt like the players were so nervous before the game and the emotions are so high. I didn't think I was very good then either. So I changed it, and I think a couple times we've lost. But Draymond gave a hell of a speech the night we lost, and you know, there's other guys that have too, and I just think this is special for the fans. It's nice when it's a noon game, you know. We've done it some when it's a 8 o'clock game on a Thursday night. It's a little harder, but I hope nobody forgets about days like this. It would sadden me if they did.
I mean, you've kind of touched on this now, but you know the memory making aspect is obviously very important to you. Given all the different things that have happened this year, where does today rank in that regard?
Well, it ranks right up on top because you know, we started our capital campaign today over in the football building. I spoke at that a little bit early in the morning, and I kind of get a vision of where we're going as a university. And I love our president and what he's focusing in on and where we're going. And then you look at this program, and you know, as I've told some coaches, I mean, we're all too old. Hell, I had the job for 2 years and I was too old because I was probably getting fired that next year. You know, I didn't do enough, and that's normal, you know. But I think people here have stuck with me, and I think I've stayed with them. And my old boss, Judd, used to say a good deal is a good deal for you and a good deal for me. If it's a good deal for one or the other, it's not a good deal. Well, I've had a great deal. I've had a great deal here, and you know, there's always some tough spots, and there's always some things that go wrong. But in general, my tough deal is not just because of the university, it's because of this community, this state. Never left, you know, six weeks to Tulsa. Other than that, Michigander through and through.
Coach, 5 years ago, the last time you hung one of those banners, you didn't know you wouldn't be playing after that. Even though you have 11 of these, I'm sure you don't take these for granted.
No. Don't take any of them for granted. But I would say that, you know, 5 years, you know, very few guys don't leave here with something, either a Big Ten championship or a Final Four or a national championship. And that's probably what I'm proudest of. They all got something that they're going to be able to show their grandkids, you know. And as I said to you back when the record-breaking day of Bobby Knight, you know, records are great, but someone's going to break that one. Banners. When they knock this building down, when all of us are gone and they knock it down and build a new one, I'm going to have in my will, they better transfer those damn banners to the next building. Banners should stay forever. And that's kind of why I appreciate them. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.